Hello viewers, and welcome to today's discussion. And today I want us to discuss how Dp Ruto plans to beat the deep state. We all know that there's been talk of deep state who wants to influence the election. How does the DP is planning to beat the deep state, and what are some of the strategies that he is implementing or he plans to implement in the future that will help him beat the deep state? If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so that when we upload our next video, you will be notified by YouTube. Also comment and share this video. Now, what are some of the strategies that Deputy President has employed that he hopes and to some extent might help him beat the deep state? We're going to discuss about 8 strategies. Number one, some of these strategies and some of these tactics are pegged on the challenges that the Deputy President is facing. To list but a few of the challenges that the Deputy President is facing and how he is going to surmount them, we are going to start by the deep state itself. So, one of the ways Ruto is planning to go around this challenge of the deep state itself is he is making a lot of noise about their involvement in this coming election and how they are planning to influence it. He's also mentioned names. He's mentioned Matiang'i. He's mentioned Musheru. He's mentioned the NIS. He's mentioned many other security apparatus that are involved and that are going to be used in the influence of this election. One of the other ways also is dealing with the deep state is instilling confidence of beating the deep state by instilling confidence in his supporters and asking them to come out and vote, that his votes are safe, that there is no way his votes will be stolen or his win will be rigged by the so-called deep state. He's been hard asking his supporters, nyinyi mnaona kama mimi ni mtu wa kuibiwa kura? That is, he's exuding confidence and showing his supporters that you come out and vote for me, I am able and willing to protect the votes you give me. And some of the intention of the mention of the deep state in some of these discussions is to cause voter apathy in the perceived stronghold of the Deputy President so that he doesn't get the votes that he would have gotten. And I think the Deputy President has seen through this and is urging his voters and giving them confidence to come out and vote, telling them that his votes cannot be stolen. There is also the Mwai Kibaki factor in 2002. Many people believe that Mwai Kibaki beat the deep state then. There are those who believe that he was allowed to beat the deep state because it was always a project of the government. To some extent, that could be true because in 1997 Kibaki is believed to have been a state project. Same in 1992. It is believed that Moi could have allowed Kibaki to win so that to allow political maturity of his protege, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Another problem that the Deputy President could be facing, and which is linked to the deep state, is President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta himself. How does the Deputy President been tackling this, and how is he planning to tackle this going forward? Uhuru knows how they won the election in 2017. Did they rig? Did they win honestly? Uhuru knows this, and ultimately Ruto too knows this. So if Uhuru knows this and Ruto knows this, both of them know how they won the election. So in his plans and his machinations, the president could be planning something and the deputy president knows this. And the president knows that the deputy president knows what transpired in 2017. The other way Ruto is handling this President Uhuru's problem is Ruto is always trying to employ a multi-pronged strategy when it comes to the dealing with President Uhuru. He attacks him publicly and away from the Mount Kenya region, launches vicious attacks against the president, and when he goes back to the president's backyard, he calms down and portrays a figure of someone who has been betrayed by a friend, someone who has been betrayed by President Uhuru Kenyatta. This has projected the deputy president as someone who is a victim, someone who has been victimized by a friend, someone who has been stabbed in the back by a friend in the president's own backyard, something that can only be executed by someone of the caliber of the deputy president. Another way that deputy president has dealt with his boss, Uhuru Kenyatta, is by attacking Raila. Each time the president comes out to attack the deputy president, Ruto and his men go out full throttle to attack Raila and label Raila as a project of the state. This has had a lot of effect towards any gain that the president might have had towards the Azimio side. And they have told the public that the president is intending to rule by proxy through Raila, being the chairman of the Azimio group. And it has been very difficult for Raila to wiggle out of this perception because of the association of Uhuru Kenyatta to Azimio. And this has really had a negative impact to the Azimio campaign. And I think that is why the president has had a backseat in the national campaigns of Azimio. Now, at this point, viewers, I would love to ask you to subscribe to this channel. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And tell us so far what you think about the strategies that Ruto has employed. Comment. Tell us if you agree with me so far. And for those who have subscribed, thank you so much. And keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep commenting. Thank you. The third problem that Ruto is facing, and in this tough race, is Raila Odinga. Raila is a very resilient and consistent fighter. He enjoys the support of die-hard fans who are willing to do anything for him, who are willing to even die for him, who are willing to go at every length just to show their support to Raila Odinga. And this has been a great headache of other presidents that have come before Uhuru. It's sure as hell is a problem for Ruto. He might not acknowledge it, he might not publicly acknowledge it, but I'm very sure it is a thorn in the back for Ruto. And Raila is a political genius who together with others, fought and defeated President Moi. He's a political genius, a political chess master, and who you can underrate or dismiss at your own peril. One of the ways that Ruto is dealing with Raila is Ruto has gone out of his way to portray Raila as an old man, devoid of new ideas. An old man who is stuck in the past, an old man who is stuck in the liberation days. Ruto has said this is not about any liberation of any form. This is about the economy. And he has managed to convince a number of people to go along in this line of thought. Even some who have been Raila diehards, Raila supporters. And another way he's dealing with this is portraying Raila as a violent man. He has gone out deliberately and portrayed Raila Amolo Odinga as a violent man, someone who violence follows him wherever he goes, someone who his method of dealing with situation is always violence. This narrative has stuck to some. This narrative has, whether true or false, has really dented the image of Raila in one way or another. It is believed that Ruto has gone out of his way to plan and execute violence and pin it to Raila Odinga. Whether that is true or not, you can tell me, viewers, if you believe that, or if you think it's also propaganda from the other side. Also, let me know. But it has, but at some point, even Sonko admitted publicly that that is what they did, even during the previous election. That they number 4 on the list, that on the ways Ruto is planning to deal with the deep state, or rather beat the deep state, is the Luya nation factor. And this is the Mudavadi and Wetangula factor. Dp Ruto has managed to convince Mudavadi and Wetangula to join his Kenya Kwanza side. And to be honest, the Luya has always been the core supporters or support base of Raila Amolo Odinga. And this time round, I believe they are not going to vote as a bloc to Raila Odinga. And this is going to dent Raila's support base. This is going to reduce Raila's votes in one way or another. Remember, in this election, every vote counts. And I was in Western the other day, and I could see there are some people who had followed Mudavadi and Wetangula to Kenya Kwanza. I've spoken to a few people, a few lawyers, and they have confirmed as much. So it might not be significant, but I believe this is going to dent the numbers that Raila would have gotten from Western. Another strategy that Ruto has employed is his association, or rather the perceived association with IEBC. Ruto has exploited this to the maximum. He's come to the defense of the IEBC. He's at any opportunity he has had, he has told off Raila Amolo Odinga that Raila is supposed to man up and face him, because he is the person he will be facing in this election. It is not the IEBC. Whether it is true or not that he is associated with IBC, that is a story for another day, but he's really exploited the perception to the maximum. And if this perception is true, and that as it has been believed or said before, that 19 out of the 47 county returning officers are from the Kalenjin nation, and that they are distributed strategically across the country in the places that he deems critical in the winning of this election, then I must say that this is a masterstroke. This is a very strategic move, and this is something that Uhuru and Raila, together with their deep state, need to be very worried about. There is also the Chirchir factor. It is believed that Chirchir, David Chirchir, was very instrumental in the rigging of the 2017 election. It is believed that he was the IT guru behind the algorithm that rigged the 2017 election, and he is squarely in Ruto's camp. And I want to believe that since he knows his way around the IBC system, he is going to try something like that. Although I'm sure even the deep state are aware of this and maybe could be prepared for it. But this is something that should have Raila worried at any cost. Ruto has also increased the number of agents across the country. Ruto has a very well-established agent network across all polling centers in the country, and I believe that is going to help him also to beat and go around this issue of the deep state. Number 6 is the psychological war. Ruto has started a number of psychological wars that he himself is in control with. Number 1, Ruto has created a perception that he is the de facto leader of the mountain. He has made people believe that he has wrestled the leadership mantle of the Mount Kenya from President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Whether that is true or not will be seen after the results of the coming general election starts trickling in. But as of now, people believe that Ruto is the de facto leader of Mount Kenya, which could not be true. But Ruto has ran with that perception. He has painted that perception in the minds of Kenyans, and Kenyans, most of them believe that he is rightfully so. And this could be wrong, but it is helping, the perception is helping Dr. William Samoei Ruto so much, because now even the media and any other person believe that he is the person to beat in Mount Kenya. He has also created another perception of him leading in the opinion polls. Even when he is not actually leading, but he has created that perception. He has commissioned and released opinion polls showing him that he is leading in so many other areas, even areas that were traditionally Raila Odinga zones. And so, in effect, what this means is that if there are people who always vote with the winning side, even when they don't identify with that side. So he is creating the perception that he is winning, and which might create a wave that will propel him to status. Number 7 on the list is Ruto has managed to change the narrative of this campaign into an issue-based campaign. And this is helping him. Ruto has managed to make this campaign about the Mwananchi. Whether that is true or not, or whether he believes it or not, it's a story for another day. But he has managed to convince and have a conversation around issues, around things that affect the common Mwananchi. And this has endeared him to people in so many ways. This narrative change and this mode of campaign might prove to be very effective and earn him a lot of votes. And lastly, on the list and ways of how Ruto plans to beat the deep state is the cost of living. We all know that the cost of living has gone high. The cost of living has been on the rise ever since probably the handshake or thereabout. And this might not be pegged to the handshake itself, because right about the same time is when the world economy started going on recession. Right about then is when the corona hit around the world. So it might not be correct to say that it is because of the handshake, but Ruto has managed to tie this tag around the handshake and by extension President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga's association. And this he has done very effectively. And he has managed to use the rising cost of living against the duo. He hits the nail on the head. He places the blame on the handshake, places the blame squarely on President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga. This, in effect, has really dented the image of the association. This has changed the narrative about Raila being in the opposition and him being in the government. And it's very amazing how he has managed to do that. Actually, when he speaks about cost of living, it's amazing how he detaches himself from government and places Raila Amolo Odinga in his place. And to the amazement of many, it is the reception he gets when he does this. The way people believe him when he says this. So Ruto has a way with words, and this is a gift that he has that probably Raila doesn't have. And he gets away with so many misconceptions, intentional misconceptions, but I believe that it is one of the strategies that he has consistently used and very effectively applied in this campaign. The cost of living and Ruto managing to make it a campaign issue is going to help Ruto a lot more than it will ever help Raila Amolo Odinga. To conclude, let me say that Ruto is an astute politician who thinks very clearly on his feet. Ruto might prove very difficult for the deep state to defeat or to rig out. Ruto, even if they succeed in defeating him, might have control in the Senate and in the national parliament. A fact that is going to be a total nightmare for Raila Odinga if he wins this election. And lastly, deep state might just need to come up with new ways to defeat Ruto, as he knows the other ways they have used before. So I think this calls for Uhuru and his handlers to get creative if at all they want to beat him. We've come to the end of this discussion. I don't know what you think. What are your thoughts? Please comment. Tell me what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Share your thoughts. Rather, let's have a conversation about this. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Like this video. Share this video. Thank you, and I look forward to engaging with you on the comment section. See you in our next video. Thank you.